Hi everyone, and welcome to another video of our van build series. In this video I'll talk about the Cymarine controller and its various components. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Also please give me a thumbs up if you like my videos, and please add a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. The Cymarine system consists of the Pico screen, the SC301 shunt for the battery monitoring, the ST107 for tank and temperature sensor monitoring, and the SDI01 inclinometer for van leveling. Everything is connected via RJ45 leads, making hookup extremely simple. The main screen shows the battery state of charge, date and time, and the time to empty under current load if discharging, and the time to fully charge if charging. The secondary screen can provide more detail about battery voltage and current draw or charge. Cymarine also provide another module that allows individual current monitoring, such as the fridge, lighting, solar panel input, etc. But I didn't go with this option. I mean, it's fairly obvious what is drawing current from your battery by what's switched on or running at the time. Next is the tank screen that shows the state of my fresh and grey water tanks. Then there is the temperature screen that shows the state of the temperature sensors I have around the van. Lastly, there is an inclinometer screen that helps you get the van level when parked on uneven surface. Alright, so we want devices. Oops. Temperature sensors. So you can name your devices as well. Select what type it is. The NTC 10K is a common one, which just means that it's a I think 10 kilo ohm, so it's based on resistance, not voltage. And I'm plugged into the into my there, whatever. So if I want to calibrate this, the only calibration I had on that was to set a offset. So it wasn't that much options on this. So to calibrate a temperature sensor, what I did, I got a cup of ice, and that gave me my 0 degrees. And then I got a cup of boiled water, and that gave me my 100 degrees. Unfortunately, I found the sensors not to be linear, in that they're calibrating for the 0 degrees throughout the 100 degrees. Given that we mostly live in the lower end of the spectrum, I wanted 0 degrees to be more accurate than the 100 degrees Celsius. Whilst not perfect, I found this to be consistent. So at the moment, let's go exit this. I'll go to my weather forecast, says it's 23 degrees outside, so I got that pretty accurate. I've got 4 probes in this van. I got one that sits above the fridge, just to monitor that box. It's not the fridge itself, just the temperature around the fridge to see that I can keep it cool. I got little fans in the back of the fridge compartment too, just to try and, if it gets a bit warm in there, it circulates the air whilst it's running. I'll leave that switched off most of the time and only turn it on when we're actually running the fridge. I've got a sensor above the battery, just sitting on top of the battery. Let's say it's 28 degrees and it's under the seat. Because the seat cushion insulates a bit, it can get warm in the van and stay fairly cool under the seat, but because we've had a couple of hot days, insulation works both ways. It'll take a while before it cools back down to be the same as what's inside the van. So inside the van, I've got another sensor towards the top. Just here. It's just a little temperature thermocouple, and that's just reading the temperature. That's keeping check. It's fairly high up. It's inside the cupboard, so you think that it wouldn't be representative of the temperature, but it's fairly good because heat rises and yeah. What else was there? There's the temperature sensors. I've got my inclinometer, and right now you can tell that my van, where it's located, it's down the bottom of the driveway on a slope. Let me say, it's been a nightmare trying to get things level in this van when you're actually working on the slope. I'm surprised because you can't use the spirit level anywhere. But I'm surprised how fairly level everything turned out to be in this build. It comes with a barometer, which I don't find too useful. I suppose if it's going to indicate when it's going to start raining and things like that, but when you're driving it going up and down hill, it just goes all over the place. What's the other thing on here? Water tanks. These sensors I had not been happy with, to be honest, but I have to say I'm not. It might be also be my fault because being on the slope, I calibrated them on the slope. So when I'm driving and I go to a flat point, they don't give me the right readings. Currently, both tanks should be empty, even despite the fact that they're both reading 2 liters each. I am going to try and recalibrate these again once I've got the van on a level surface and see how they go. But overall, I am not that happy with them. They are ultrasonic sensors. I got them because the level ones that you can put inside the tank, especially for wastewater, they tend to clog up with gunk and they give you false readings. So I thought, I'll give these ones a try. But like I said, I think it's more to do with me rather than the sensor, but I'll give it another go. To calibrate those, if I go, oops, I got to do it this way. Devices, tanks. Let's go fresh. These work off voltage, so they're a different type of sensor, not resistance. And I gave my tank is actually a 90 litre, but I don't think I can get that full. One of the reasons is because I am on the slope. I think the water will just drain out of the breather hose. But I did calibrate the full, but I was not getting anywhere near 90. So I think 75 is more realistic. Now, this one is more easier to calibrate than the temperature sensors because it's a linear curve, if you like. So what I did, so at each point of every 10 liters, I was taking the voltage reading and then applying what the offset would be against that. So when I got 1.4 volts, I was at 20 liters, and I can adjust that to where I want it to be. So you can put in what you want. In order to calibrate, I needed to know how much water I was adding to the tanks. I got a 20 litre jerry can, and I used the water meter to dose out 20 litres, and then I weighed it on a household weighing scales. 1 litre of water weighs 1 kilogram. So if I got 20 kilograms from a 20 litres, this verified the water meter was accurate. So from that point, I plugged in my hose and added 10 litres at a time using the water meter, then took a voltage reading, adjusting as I went. For the wastewater, I poured it down the sink and took readings that way, noting how much I was pouring down each time. With the battery monitoring, I found it to be accurate when discharging, but not when charging. We were out camping for 4 days, and I found despite the days being bright and sunny, the state of charge wasn't going up. I ran the engine and still it didn't go up. I thought it was broken. It was at that time I remembered the battery had a Bluetooth app. I downloaded it and found the battery was at 98% full, but the controller was still reading 56%.
I found that when driving, once the battery gets to 100%, the controller syncs and displays 100%, but it has to hit 100% first before the Cybermarine syncs. Very annoying. I don't know how to fix it. I've come across other people with the same problem with different controllers, so I use the Bluetooth app more often than not. The Cybermarine is accurate when discharging. That is, if I am using power, it pretty much lines up with the Bluetooth app. It's only when it's charging that it is out of step. The Cybermarine also has Wi-Fi connectivity to my phone, which is great when trying to get the van level. I can put it on the chocks and using my phone on the dash, see when I reach level. I need to turn the Wi-Fi off when not using it, otherwise my phone stays connected and can't reach the outside world for internet connectivity. This caught me out a few times where I couldn't work out why I couldn't use Google. Hope you enjoyed that. If you liked it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Any questions, leave in the comments section and I'll get back to you. Also, please subscribe if you haven't already. You should also check out our previous videos. In the next video, I'll talk about how we get Wi-Fi in the van. Bye for now.